Every morning, millions of older adults wake up and follow the same familiar routine. Brush their teeth, make a cup of coffee, maybe take a quick walk or turn on the news. But what if I told you that one of the most common morning habits, something you may be doing right now, is silently increasing your risk of a stroke? And it's not caffeine, it's not salt, it's something even more subtle, something most doctors never mention. But for people over 60, it could mean the difference between a healthy retirement and a sudden hospital visit. Take Harold, for example. 71 years old, retired postmaster, still sharp, still active, until one morning his left arm went numb as he was reading the newspaper. 30 minutes later, he was in the emergency room. Diagnosis, minor stroke. And the surprising part? His blood pressure, cholesterol, and diet were all under control. So what triggered it? It wasn't bad luck, it wasn't genetics. It was a simple, repeated morning habit that almost no one thinks twice about. And in this video, I'm going to break it all down for you. The hidden mechanism behind stroke risk in the morning. The one thing you should never do in the first hour after waking up. And the small changes that could reduce your risk by up to 8%, backed by science. Now listen, if you're between the ages of 60 and 80, or you have a parent in that age group, I urge you, don't skip ahead, don't click away, because the information you're about to hear could literally save your life, or theirs. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe now. Every week, we bring you evidence-based tips that help you live stronger, longer, and healthier in your golden years. Miss a video, and you might miss the one piece of advice that changes everything. Now, let's dive into the science and uncover the habit that's putting you at risk. Are you ready? Let's begin. Let's start with a surprising fact. Did you know that the vast majority of strokes occur between 6 a.m. and 11 a.m.? That's right. Your risk of having a stroke is significantly higher in the first few hours after waking up than at any other time during the day. But why? The answer lies in how your body behaves during sleep and what happens the moment you wake up. When you're sleeping, your blood pressure naturally drops. Your heart rate slows. Your blood vessels relax. It's a quiet, restorative state. But the moment you open your eyes, your body shifts gears fast. Your blood pressure surges. Your heart rate increases. Your blood becomes slightly thicker as hydration levels drop. And if you're over 60, your blood vessels may already be stiff or narrowed due to aging or past lifestyle choices. This combination, a rapid rise in blood pressure, sluggish circulation, and narrowed vessels, creates the perfect storm for something to go wrong. It's like a car that's been parked all night in freezing weather, and you suddenly slam the gas pedal. That engine isn't ready. Now, add one more factor. A specific habit many older adults do in the first 10 minutes of waking up that amplifies this risk even more. We'll talk about that habit in just a moment. But first, think about this. If you or someone you love is waking up with lightheadedness, stiffness, or numbness in the hands or feet, those might not be signs of aging. They could be warning signs that your brain and heart are under morning stress and your body is waving a red flag. So, what exactly is the habit that silently pushes this risk over the edge? Stay with me, because in the next part, I'll show you the one thing to never do when you first get out of bed. And if this is hitting close to home, now is the time to subscribe and share this video, because chances are someone in your family is doing this every day, and they don't know how dangerous it can be. Let's move on to the next part. So, what is the habit that silently raises your stroke risk, especially after age 60? It's getting out of bed too quickly. That's right. That seemingly harmless action of sitting up, swinging your legs off the bed, and standing immediately, without giving your body a chance to adjust, can be surprisingly dangerous for older adults. Let me explain why. When you're lying down, your blood is evenly distributed throughout your body. But the moment you sit or stand up, especially after 7 or 8 hours of sleep, gravity pulls blood down to your legs. This sudden shift causes a temporary drop in blood pressure to your brain. In younger people, the heart and blood vessels respond quickly. But in older adults, especially those with high blood pressure, diabetes, or circulation issues, the response is slower and less effective. The result? You may feel lightheaded, dizzy, or even unsteady. And that moment of low brain perfusion, even if it only lasts a few seconds, can trigger a transient ischemic attack, TIA, or even a full-blown stroke, especially if other risk factors are already present. But here's the real danger. Most people ignore that dizzy spell. They chalk it up to getting older. They don't realize that doing this every day, rushing out of bed, is silently stressing their cardiovascular system, and over time, that stress adds up. Harold, the man I mentioned earlier, had been waking up and jumping out of bed every morning for years. He never thought twice about it, until the morning his body couldn't compensate anymore. Now, ask yourself, have you ever stood up in the morning and felt a little off balance, or like the room was spinning for just a second? That's not just old age. That's your body struggling to adapt, and it's asking you to slow down. Coming up in the next part, I'll show you exactly how to get out of bed the safe way, step by step. It takes less than 60 seconds, but could protect your brain, your balance, and even your independence. And if you've found this helpful so far, leave a comment below. Have you ever experienced dizziness in the morning? Let me know. Because you're not alone, and your story might help someone else watching this. Now, let's move on to the next part, the morning routine that could save your life. Now that you know what not to do, let's talk about what you should do instead. This simple 60-second routine can help your body adjust gradually, reduce stress on your heart and brain, and lower your stroke risk, especially in the first hour after waking. Step 1. Open your eyes and stay still for 10 to 15 seconds. Let your mind adjust. Take 2 or 3 slow, deep breaths. This helps oxygen flow and gently signals your nervous system to start shifting from rest to wakefulness. Step 2. Slowly roll onto your side. Don't sit up yet. Bend your knees slightly and take another few slow breaths. This keeps your blood from rushing down too quickly and gives your circulation time to catch up. Step 3. Push yourself up into a seated position, using your hands, not just your back. Sit on the edge of the bed and place your feet flat on the floor. Now, pause here for at least 15 to 30 seconds. Let your blood pressure stabilize. Notice if you feel dizzy or lightheaded. If you do, wait a few more seconds or gently lie back down and try again. Step 4. Stand slowly. Use your hands if needed for support. Keep your knees soft. Don't lock them. Take a few seconds to check in with how you feel before walking. That's it. The whole process takes less than a minute, but can dramatically reduce your risk of a morning stroke, fall or fainting episode. This routine is especially important if you have high blood pressure diabetes, a history of stroke or mini-stroke, or if you take medications that affect circulation or hydration. And here's the key. You have to do this every single day, not just when you remember, not just when you feel off, because stroke doesn't give a warning. It happens fast, and often without pain. In the next part, I'll show you what else to avoid in your first hour awake. Specifically, the common drinks and habits that seem harmless but spike stroke risk without you realizing it. But before we move on, take a second and subscribe if you haven't already. Because if you forget this tip tomorrow or next week, you might also forget the one thing that protects you most. Your health is worth one click. Let's keep going. Next part is where things get even more surprising. Now that you know how to wake up safely, let's talk about what happens after you get out of bed. Because your next few choices can either protect your brain or push it closer to danger. Let's start with something millions of people do every morning without hesitation: drinking coffee on an empty stomach. Look, coffee isn't the enemy. In fact, studies show that moderate coffee consumption may even reduce long-term stroke risk. But timing matters. Drinking coffee within 15 minutes of waking, before rehydrating, before eating, before moving your body, can cause your blood vessels to constrict. That's especially risky when your blood is already thicker due to dehydration overnight. Add caffeine to that mix, and you're placing sudden pressure on already vulnerable arteries. The result? A sudden spike in blood pressure, increased heart rate, and more stress on your brain's blood vessels, right when they're still trying to stabilize from sleep. The same goes for cold showers immediately after waking. Another shock to your vascular system that may feel energizing, but in older adults can disrupt blood flow and oxygen delivery to the brain. And what about skipping breakfast entirely? When your body is already in a fasted, low-energy state and you add caffeine or movement without fuel, it creates a drop in blood sugar, which can impair brain function, trigger dizziness, and further strain your cardiovascular system. So what should you do instead? First, hydrate. A full glass of water helps thin the blood and kickstart circulation. Second, eat something light, a small portion of protein or fruit. Even a piece of banana or boiled egg is better than nothing. Third, wait 30 to 45 minutes before drinking coffee. Let your system stabilize first. This 3-step adjustment may sound simple, but it can reduce your stroke risk by up to 60% in the morning, especially if you combine it with the safe wake-up routine we discussed in Part 3. And yet, most people never hear this advice. Doctors don't often mention it. Most articles don't explain the timing, but now you know, and that knowledge gives you power. In the next part, we'll look at a surprising connection between morning stress and stroke risk, and how one 2-minute breathing trick could help protect your brain. But before we move on, I want to ask, have you been drinking coffee first thing in the morning on an empty stomach? If so, drop a quick yes or no in the comments. Let's see how many of us are making the same mistake and learning together. Now, let's move on to the next part. You've made it this far, and we've talked about the physical triggers of stroke: blood pressure spikes, dehydration, sudden movement. But there's one more major piece to the puzzle, one that's often invisible, yet just as dangerous: morning stress. Let's face it, how many of us wake up and immediately check our phones? The news, emails, text messages. sometimes before we've even gotten out of bed. And in those first 5 to 10 minutes of waking, we're already feeling behind, overwhelmed, or anxious. Here's what you need to know. The first hour of your day sets the tone for your entire nervous system. And when stress hits first thing in the morning, your body responds with a surge of cortisol, adrenaline, and increased heart rate, all of which tighten blood vessels and raise blood pressure. Now, imagine this happening on top of what we already discussed. Your blood being thicker from dehydration, your circulation still adjusting from sleep, your blood vessels stiffening with age. This stress stack becomes a ticking time bomb for your brain and heart. In one study, patients who experienced a stroke in the early morning were twice as likely to report feeling stressed or emotionally agitated within the first hour of waking compared to those who weren't. So what can you do about it? Try this, the 2-minute morning reset. Here's how it works. Before touching your phone, sit comfortably and close your eyes. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. Exhale gently for 6 seconds. Repeat for 2 minutes. This simple breathing pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and recover mode. It slows your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure, and calms the storm inside your body before it ever begins. It's free. It's easy. It takes 2 minutes. And it could protect you from a life-changing event. Coming up in the next part, we'll look at real-life morning routines from seniors who've successfully reduced their stroke risk and the small changes they made that you can copy starting tomorrow. Before we move on, do me one favor. If this video has opened your eyes even a little, share it with someone you love. Because chances are, someone you know is silently walking into the same danger each morning, and they won't know it until it's too late. Let's continue with the next part. Now that we've covered the science and the risks, let's talk about something practical, because information is only helpful if it turns into action. And today, I want to show you how real seniors, men and women between the ages of 60 and 80, have changed their mornings to lower their stroke risk and feel stronger, steadier, and more in control every day. Let's start with Barbara, age 68. Before, she used to wake up at 6:30, sit straight up in bed, check her phone, and head straight to the coffee pot. She didn't eat breakfast, didn't stretch, and often felt shaky by 9 a.m. She thought it was just age catching up. After learning about the dangers of rushing her mornings, Barbara made a few simple changes. She now wakes up and waits. 10 seconds before moving. Slowly sits up, drinks a glass of room-temperature water. Does 2 minutes of breathing while seated, eats half a banana or a boiled egg. Waits 30 minutes before her coffee. The result? She says she no longer feels foggy in the morning. Her energy is more stable. Her doctor noticed her blood pressure is now more consistent throughout the day. Then there's Thomas, age 75. He used to feel dizzy when standing up from bed, and even fell once during a cold winter morning. Now, he uses the roll-sit-stand routine you learned in Part 3. He also stopped checking the news first thing and replaced it with classical music and morning stretches. These are not massive lifestyle overhauls. They're micro-adjustments, small shifts in timing and intention. But together, they build a routine that protects the body, the heart, and most importantly, the brain. If you're wondering whether these routines really work, just ask their doctors. Fewer blood pressure spikes, better cognitive performance during the day, more stability on their feet, all from simply being more intentional in the first hour of their day. Now, the question is, what will your morning routine look like starting tomorrow? In our final part, I'll summarize everything we've covered and give you a simple 5-step morning checklist to follow that could protect your brain, reduce stroke risk, and make you feel more in control of your aging process. Before we move on, tell me in the comments, which part of your morning routine are you going to change first? Your comment might be the exact thing that encourages someone else to take their health seriously. Let's summarize at the end. You've made it to the end, and that already tells me something important. You care about your health. You want to stay strong, independent, and in control. And most of all, you're willing to do something about it. So let's pull everything together with a simple, actionable checklist. This is your 5-step stroke prevention morning routine, designed especially for adults over 60. Step 1. Wake up slowly. Open your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Roll to your side. Sit up gently. Don't rush. Step 2. Hydrate before anything else. Drink 1 full glass of room temperature water before coffee, before food, before screens. It rehydrates your brain and thins your blood naturally. Step 3. Wait 30 to 60 seconds before standing. Give your body time to balance. Sit on the edge of the bed. Let your blood pressure stabilize. If you feel dizzy, wait longer. Step 4. Eat something light. Even a few bites, a slice of fruit, a handful of nuts, or a boiled egg gives your body the fuel it needs to wake up safely. Step 5. Delay coffee and digital stress. Wait 30 to 45 minutes before drinking coffee. Avoid checking your phone or reading stressful news right away. Instead, breathe deeply. Stretch. Center yourself. These 5 simple steps take just a few minutes, but they can protect you from one of the most devastating medical emergencies a person can face. And the best part? They cost nothing, require no equipment, and can be done by anyone, anywhere. You now know more than most people do about how strokes happen in the morning and how to stop them before they start. But remember, knowing isn't enough. You have to act, starting tomorrow. And here's something else to think about. If you don't save or share this information today, you might forget it next week, and someone you care about might never hear it. Don't let that happen. If this video helped you in any way, do 2 things right now. First, subscribe to the channel, because we release new videos every week that go deeper than the usual health tips. We talk about what really matters after 60, and how you can thrive, not just survive. Second, share this video. Send it to a friend, a spouse, a neighbor, or a parent. Because one little change in someone's morning could save their life, and you could be the reason why. Thank you for being here. Take care of your mornings, and your mornings will take care of you.